You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and white sports fans, we have told you guys many times, when you mix sports and politics, it is a recipe for disaster. Sports and politics do not go hand in hand. Politics should stay on one side. Sports is supposed to be an escape from the everyday problems of the world. This is something that the NBA still has not learned. They haven't. As you guys know, I have not watched the NBA in like 2.5 years. When they got into that NBA bubble and they decided to get extremely political, more political than any sports league out there in 2020, they turned me off. And a lot of people never came back. And also that reflects on the NBA ratings for the NBA Finals, which the Golden State Warriors actually won last night. And not many people watched it. Let's be clear. I'm pretty sure that Rhodes will end up doing a ratings video when we find out the actual ratings of the NBA Finals. The Warriors won, and I really don't care. Steph Curry won the MVP. I really don't care. I don't. We also been telling you for years now that ESPN, when they got into politics, people started turning off ESPN. And then management came in and said, hey, no politics. And for a little while there, they kind of got away from talking politics. But then 2020 happened, and then bam, they went all into wokeness and politics. And now they're suffering yet again. When will these organizations realize that you cannot mix the two? Well, that brings us to The Athletic. The Athletic is pretty woke. They're pretty woke, and they're pretty much going broke, I guess you could say. But they have new management now. The New York Times, who's actually pretty left wing, bought them earlier this year. And now the New York Times has actually laid down the hammer on The Athletic. They have implemented now a no politics policy, and they have told them to stick to sports. Over here on Outkick, NYT ownership, The Athletic lays down no politics rule for staff. And I'm wondering how long this will actually last. So if some George Floyd type of situation happens again, which I don't hope does not happen, I don't know if this is going to last. But it says here, the long anticipated slap in the face to The Athletic's politically angled approach to sports has finally arrived. And it's the New York Times delivering the smack to The Athletic's hedonistic approach to sports journalism, encouraging its writers to mix political commentary with sports coverage liberally. And that is a recipe for disaster. It doesn't mix. To combat sliding subscription numbers and off-the-visit coverage by the writing staff, the Times is proposing new policies to The Athletic's editorial direction, notably a zero politics rule, which goes against the site's ethos. In a staff meeting on June 8th, The Athletic's chief content officer, Paul Feitenbaum, outlined political speech no longer permitted by the updated editorial guidelines. Quote, "We could stand up for our rights," Feitenbaum told staff members, "but we should not say we disagree with somebody's politics. It feels almost too stupid to type out something this obvious, but apparently it must be said. Standing up for someone's rights almost always means disagreeing with someone else's politics." Feitenbaum added that social media and similar platforms used by The Athletic staff members should not promote radical political rhetoric. And hopefully they stick to this. And hopefully, some other outlets also stick to it as well. We're probably going to make a video on the network channel because the new boss at CNN has said, hey, we're not going to be getting into blatant political opinions anymore on CNN. I'll actually talk about that probably on the network channel, so stay tuned for that. Okay. But anyway, quote, we don't want to stop people from having a voice and raising their voice for appropriate issues, Feitenbaum said. But there comes a point where something that is a straightforward, hey, I'm concerned about guns in America, for instance, right? That's an apolitical statement. It becomes political when you say, quote, I'm concerned about guns in America, and this political party is the reason why we're having an issue, right? See, that's what happened with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, during the NBA Finals, not talking about the game, he went up there and attacked Republicans on gun rights and gun violence. He blamed them. That was a blatant political statement. I don't believe he should have been talking about it anyway. And also, I don't believe that the Athletic should even really kind of still, it seems like they still kind of want to dive in to it a little bit, but they want to make apolitical statements. I wouldn't even do that. I mean, you're a sports outlet. Stick to sports. That's all you got to do. How about actually covering the Deshaun Watson situation? How about doing that? The Warriors just won the NBA Finals, and are you guys actually going to talk about that? How about just sticking to sports? No, they probably, I don't know if this is necessarily going to work for too long because they're definitely very, very left wing. So I'm not exactly sure how long this will actually last. But it goes on. That's when it tips over. So again, we don't want to stop people from having a voice and expressing themselves. We just need to keep it from tipping over into the political space. Well, if you're going to start talking like about guns, for example, and say, hey, gun violence is bad, what does that actually have to do with sports? It has nothing to do with sports. I mean, the NFL preseason and training camps is actually going to be starting in like a month. Why don't you actually just talk about that? Why would you even have to bring in guns or anything like that? But however, though, some people that work for the Athletic, they're not very happy about having to stick to sports, even though that's what they were hired for. It says here, the member was not happy about the decision, stating that the people most informed about these issues in sports are now being silenced. Are they really most informed? Are you guys that are super woke over there at the Athletic, are you guys really that informed? It says this, quote, what about Black Lives Matter? Is that a social cause? Who will write about athlete protests? What about trans athletes in sports? The employee told sources from the outlet. Where this policy gets you is that the people who care the most about a particular issue, the people who are most informed about a particular issue, are now the ones who are banned from covering the issue, close quote. So these people over there still want to talk about BLM, which is a grift, you know, a Marxist organization. This is the kind of stuff that they want to talk about. Oh, God. Fight Mom also touched on an internal issue within the Athletic, which calls for the Times to up their limited spending allowance for travel, which the Athletic's writers claim hinders the quality of their work. The Times noted that travel budgets have remained identical to pre-pandemic norms. Once the sports site was sold to the NYT, a ticking time bomb set off for the heavy-handed political sway within the Athletic's coverage that posed a significant identity problem. A sports site alienating readers over non-sports related issues. Yeah, this is a prime reason why I do not watch the NBA anymore. Now, I still was kind of not liking the style of play in the NBA. I still don't. They take way too many threes. But when they went full woke and full Marxist, kneeling for the national anthem, didn't like that. And they just blatantly just threw it in your face. They really did. And just when the NBA tries to kind of get away from it, they start getting back into it, a la Steve Kerr. See what he did? And I believe this is probably what's going to happen with the Athletic. Like I said, I'm not sure this is actually going to last too long, to tell you the truth. But management did need to come out and say, hey, we're here for sports, and people are turning us off because we're not focusing on sports. They're right about this. But how long will this actually last? That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.